Super League's biggest rivals clash tonight for the 8th time in 12 months at the JJB Stadium. The last weekend of the regular season, and Wigan are hoping to pitch the minor Premiership from under the Bradford Bulls' noses. Ian Millward is playing this game down as the Saints can only finish fourth no matter what the result of this game. But as always, when these two Super League giants collide, there is more at stake than just the 2 points. But both sides coming out onto the field at the same time, because at the start of the game there's going to be a 2-minute silence for the tragic events that happened during the week in New York and Washington. So both sides will line up opposite each other and will administer 2-minute silence, respecting and thinking of those who lost their lives. Referee Stuart Cummins will blow his whistle to start and end the 2-minute silence. Fantastically observed, 2 minutes there. Well, I'll run through the teams for you before the start of the kick-off. For the Wigan Warriors, Connolly at full-back, no Radlinski, Carney, Renouf, Johnson and Hodgson to the three-quarters, Johns and Lamb, the half-backs, O'Connor, Newton and Howard, the front three, with Wild and Ferner in the second row, Farrell at loose forward, Cowie, Betts, Smith and Aspinwall on the bench, and for St Helens, Wellens the full-back, Hall, Hoppy, Iro and Felton to the three-quarters, with Schoolthorpe and Martin at half-backs, Matautier, McConnell and Edmondson at the front three, Shields and Cruikshank and Joint at a back row. And on the bench, McDonald, Yonkers, Hyam and John Kirkpatrick. Referee tonight, as I mentioned, is Stuart Cummins. Wigan with a kick-off. Saints first receiver. You're watching with Micron video. I'm Matt Fielding here at the JJB with Ron Hoof. This game's about to get underway. Referee blows the whistle and a short kick-off from Wigan, giving St Helens the ball.
Yes, thanks Matt. Saints with first touch. Matautier in and he offloads it. Mark Edmondson in at prop. Saints moving quickly on the short side. Paul Schoolthorpe moving it out. Obviously the ball maybe a little slippy. We have had a bit of a downpour. I think it's stopped now. The pitch is in excellent condition. I couldn't actually hear what Matt was saying due to the cacophony of sound, even though there's not a full house here. But great work there, and Wigan now have the possession.
That's right, both teams under strength this evening. As I mentioned before, nothing really at stake for St Helens. They'll be fourth no matter how the result of this game goes. But Wigan is still vying for that top spot. Level points with Bradford, and they've got to rely on Bradford slipping up tomorrow against Leeds. But Wigan could still do with seeing the season out with a win, just to give them that impetus into the playoffs. Lamb now onto Johns, back from injury, onto Dave Ferner. He missed last week. He was chomping at the bit apparently to play, but Stuart Raper decided to rest him, and Lamb again with a dab through, looking for Farrell. Farrell's nearly come down with it, but great positioning there by Wellens, back at fullback. Superb position, but a great kick, and Wellens defused that bombing goal.
Yes, he did well under pressure from the Wigan captain, and Steve Hall bringing the ball away now. As I said, I couldn't hear what Matt was saying, but you with Micron video bringing you all the action with myself, Ron Hoof and Matt Fielding, and Saints knock on, head and feed to the Warriors. So a mistake by the Saints. They're going to have pressure put on them.
So you mentioned it's been raining down quite heavily. It's not really going to suit St Helens style football. And there's Gary Connolly filling in for Chris Radlinski, who was so close to matching that record, Super League record by Paul Newell of 28 tries in the season. But he's got an injury of the ribs that he sustained last week against Castleford, and he'll miss this one. We'll have him ready for the playoff series. And Farrell has got a big overlap on that right hand side, but took the ball up himself. Newton a dummy half. Newton with the dummy. And Wigan camped in the St Helens area. He tried to release that ball, managed to keep hold of it in the end. Cummins getting the Saints players back to 10 metres. Johns now fires the ball out wide to Lamb. Lamb throws the dummy, he's got Renouf back on the inside. Renouf stepping one way. He's got support there with Ferner. And Ferner's wrapped up well. Tommy Martin in with a challenge. Hello. Off we go again. Johns with a dab through. Looking for the Wigan player, but in the end I think it was Terry Newton trying to find his way through, and a good tackle there by Wigan, pushing Saints possibly back into their own in-goal area, and a drop out between the posts. Much to the dismay of the St Helens fans, but great defence on show. That time I think Stephen Wilde in the act of tackling there. It's good to see him getting a start for the Warriors. It's good to see Stuart Raper blooding some of the youngsters, and Harvey Howard now full head of steam up forwards. In he goes to Iro. Good drive by Harvey. Sculthorpe and Iro. It's going to be another contest between Renouf. He's got the ball to Hodgson. He cuts back inside. Still going, swinging out from Iro, but grabs the shirt. An encouraging start from Wigan, and a penalty given. And Farrell will probably look. It's a quick tap. They've got the momentum going forward and catching Saints on the back foot. It's something that we're so accustomed to seeing here. Wigan going away early, and good start, and Saints just biding their time, and Farrell going blind now, back on the inside, Renouf, and he drops the ball. And Saints will come up with a possession.
Yeah, it'd have been a try all the way, that, Matt, if Renouf could have took the ball, but he couldn't. Thank you very much, and Saints obviously have the possession, and they have a little bit of ball, and let's hope they can respect the ball this time. McConnell driving away. Wigan penalised. Incorrect at the play of the ball. Tommy Martin takes it quickly. Finds possession, or finds position, and will get possession on the Wigan 40. Edmondson. Oh, Edmondson's lost it. So in the, just as I was saying, in the tackle, the early tackle count, solid tackling, as it was on Liam Felton there at the back, which forced the drop out. But once again, Wigan forced the error. Good gang tackling on the Saints player, and now it's head and feet again to Wigan. Saints have got to defend again and try and keep Wigan down in that half of the field.
That's right, and the wet conditions proving costly for Saints again. Paul Johnson trying to break his way through, and Saints, Martin lying on in the tackle there. And here comes young Stephen Wilde. The head went back in that challenge, but both teams blooding some youngsters before the playoffs get started. I know that, like I mentioned before, Ian Millward was playing this one down, saying that Saints were really concentrating on the playoffs. And as far as the clashes between these two sides go, the derby games, this one isn't really as big as previous games between the two sides, but I can't believe that for a second as Johns is on his way, gets the ball away to Newton, lovely spin, keeps it alive with Lamb. Lamb, there's a gap open for him, onto Farrell. Renouf cuts back on the inside, he's got support, he's going to go himself, and Renouf's over the line for the first try. Superb play there by Wigan, utilising this near side. They realised that they had the men over. Saints were struggling to get over to defend, and Renouf using all the skill he's got, getting over the line there for Wigan. But it all came, that lovely drive and spin by Matthew Johns up the middle of the pitch. No one could get a finger on him. He turned round, fed the ball to Newton supporting, and he got the ball quickly away to Lamb. Lamb took it towards the St Helens defence and got the ball inwards then to Renouf via Farrell. The lovely stepping off both legs from Johns as he got the ball away to Newton. And then Lamb on the inside support play was fantastic, and Renouf straightening up, and one or two of these St Helens tackles are falling down by the wayside, grabbing at shirts a bit. But Renouf, he's had a few off weeks recently, but he's still coming up with the tries, and that one had all the touches of class that we have come to expect from Steve Renouf. but it's been 3 sets of 6 for St Helens, and they've not completed a single one of them so far. And Wigan, totally the opposite. Farrell now trying to add the 2 points extras. Wigan want to get away to a big lead. There's the kick from Farrell. It comes off that right-hand post, but bounces the right side of it. 6 points to 0 then. Wigan over to St Helens side. And Ron, I thought the wet conditions had proved costly for St Helens, and it's doing so already.
Well, it is up to now. Obviously, we can't keep hold of the ball. We had the same problem last week against Leeds. We just couldn't hold it at vital times. Obviously, went down last week by 5 points. Not the best of starts. What a great try though by Renouf in the end. You know, Johns, Newton, Lamb, and finally Renouf. We know he comes inside and does that, and he finished off. Saints tackling just dropped off. It'll have to tighten up. I'm sure it will, Matt.
That's right, but like I mentioned, we're so used to seeing Saints go behind and then coming back. I'm sure this game will be no different, despite the side they've got there. It's certainly not the number one side they could feel, but there's plenty of youngsters who are looking to for a late run, perhaps get into the side for the playoffs that are imminent. Same with this Wigan side. No Mick Castle tonight, he's been rested. Brett Dallas is out with an injury. Also sustained against Castleford last week, but that's a good kick and chase. There's a wall of Wigan defenders coming up to chase Steve Hall, and he runs straight into Terry Newton. So Saints will come away from their own 10-metre area with Wellens from fullback.
Yes, thanks, Matt. We just got to try and get a bit of cohesion together and movement, and we're just not getting it. Obviously, because losing possession, and Wigan doing a good tackling stint, aren't they? Hoppy coming away, looked a bit high. Referee says it was round his chest. Sculthorpe puts boot to ball. Oh, it looks a good kick. Oh, and it is a good kick. Obviously, giving possession to Wigan at the head and feed. As I say, I heard you before, it's not a be-all and end-all game. It's the last round, round 28 of Super League 6. As you said, position still 1 and 2 to be decided. I can't really see Bradford losing tomorrow against Leeds. Much stranger things have happened. Wigan will go to the top of the table after tonight with that game tomorrow. We'll just have to see. We know Saints are 4th, and they're going to be home to Leeds a week tomorrow. And then either Wigan or Bradford against Hull. It's all ifs and buts yet, Matt, isn't it? But Wigan have the possession, leading by 6 points to 0.
That's right, Carney now playing on the right wing tonight, replacing Dallas. O'Connor with the drive up, McConnell in with a tackle, and with Metaltia. A good drive, good yards forward. I think there's only one player in the league that has more metres gained, and that's O'Connor's teammate Farrell, and that should be back to 6. That was played out from a Saints hand, but the referee's not giving it. So then Dave Ferner will take the drive up. Dave Ferner's through. He's looking for support. He's got none, but he's turned Wellens inside out. Still going is Ferner, but Wellens, well, he thought he got a hand to him, but instead the ball's gone to Connolly. The ball looked a little bit forward in the tackle, but referee's played on the ball, gone out willy-nilly. Farrell with the kick through. All he's got to do is pick it up, and he's over the line. And down it goes. Carney with possibly what looks like a try, but the referee Cummins has gone to the video screen, just probably to look at the grounding. He can't go to the video ref for a forward pass, but it's, from this direction, an angle, it certainly looked a little bit forward, but great vision from Farrell though to spot that he was no way going to get a pass to him, put the little kick through, just checking to see whether Carney was onside, and he certainly was.
But obviously Saints shouldn't have let Ferner get that far. A great burst, the try's awarded. He was only checking either for the offside or the grounding or both, and Carney, the Irish flyer, in for his well, how many's he got this year? He's got a few, and he's 9. That'll be his 10th of the season, and a great touchdown. But there again, Ferner, what a burst by Ferner, and then he put the ball away, and it was forward. Well, looking at it that way, now it doesn't look as bad. We're just looking on the big screen, and it didn't look as bad there. My initial thought was that it was a mile forward, but it didn't look all that bad. But anyway, the referee let it go on. We've got the fourth official in the stand somewhere. He's not up with us. Wigan with a 10-point lead. You can't say more than that, can you? And Farrell again. Do you ever get that feeling? Obviously, Farrell got the one in off the upright before. Do you ever get that feeling it's not going to be you tonight?
It must feel like that for every game you play to start with, until you come back. Farrell then. Tough kick from the far touchline, and it looks good. The flags are raised. What a kick from Farrell! But it was superb vision from Farrell with that kick through. He knew that Carney, all he had to do was pick it up, and he'd been over the line. Superb stuff.
It's kicking like that, Matt, that obviously wins your games. We've lost quite a few games this season through having not the regular kicker, Sean Long, that's been out for a while, and it's cost us in three or four games. But there it is, Farrell from one side and the other. Now we're going to have the ball back again. Saints with it all to do.
So then Wigan again, Harvey Howard this time. Superb stuff from Dave Ferner, lovely break and great finishing from Carney. We've not seen, I don't think, his full potential yet this season, Brian Carney. He had a terrible time early on in the season with injuries, and a penalty given. Farrell's looking to take this one quickly. There he goes, he's running at the back, there is no way. They were back to 10 metres, and Johnson now gets the ball back on the inside to Wild. And good stuff from Farrell, good vision. Notice that Saints were slow to get back. And Wigan again now, Farrell controlling things up the middle. Newton, out it goes to Johns. Johns with the step, joins in with a tackle, and over the top comes Metaltia. Metaltia lying all over as he's trying to make a quick play of the ball. Harvey Howard now runs straight at some of the youngsters. He had support on his shoulder. Connolly misses the ball the first attempt. Newton keeps it alive. Little dab through, the ball's come back. Renoff goes down to the ball. Good pick up, and he keeps it alive as well. Away comes Newton, he's still on the last tackle. Connolly knows that. Well, I thought he did. Well, the referees wiped the tackle count down. I thought he'd signalled fifth tackle, but he hadn't. And Ferner's found a gap, and he's straight through. Ferner causing a St. Helens team all sorts of problems in attack, and he's come through. He's only 14 minutes gone, and Wigan have been over the line 3 times. It all came from that penalty deep in Wigan's half. St. Helens not back the full 10, and Wigan charging forward. Farrell with the quick penalty got up into the Saints danger area, and then Saints defence there at the last as Ferner got the ball, didn't come up as a line, they were slanted. One man coming out the line too quickly, that's all it takes. Ferner spotted it, and he was straight through, and Tommy Martin was just left grabbing at his shirt.
16 points to nil. Farrell, he'll back heel this one over, he has from the others. Mind you, I said that at the grand final, didn't I? Nearly cost me dropping my jacks on the town hall stairs, didn't it? But instant telling, but I didn't have to. But anyway, it's Farrell again, looking for the conversion. Left-footed strike, and it's there. 18 points to nil. And we've played just on 16-17 minutes, and it's going to be an uphill battle. There's still pride and passion to play for. We always do with these Saints and Wigan battles, and sometimes they're tight, other times it's a cakewalk for one side. Can the Saints come back? We did last time here. Was it last season when we came back after being about 22 points down, was it? Watch this space.
You're going to tell me that's the game plan, aren't you? Let us think we're doing well. Didn't take long. So Wigan again looking to get on the attack. Joint messing around the play. Out the ball goes. It was slightly behind Johnson. He's going to try and break his way through. Hoppy. Good yards made there by Johnson. Not a good player the ball though, and Carney's under all sorts of pressure, but he's got away from it. All the same, great strength from Carney. Hoppy just going a little bit too high, and he can't do that with Brian Carney. He's got such a powerful upper body. Long ball out wide to Farrell. Now on to Renoff. Now Renoff's got Hodgson back on the inside, and Hodgson's dropped it. Well, Renoff flicking the ball back on the inside, just a little bit behind Hodgson perhaps. I think he was reading 2 tackles down the line there, and Hodgson saw himself in the clear but dropped the ball forward.
Yeah, great work there, and Renouf again. There's some chemical warfare going on up here, but we just have to put up with it. And Saints going to have head and feed at the scrum. Wellens is feeding it. He's back at full back initially, but he's come up to feed the scrum. Sculthorpe has it now, and Saints with a touch, and can they do anything? Can they get points on the board? Joint moving up to the Wigan 30. Tautier. Both sides obviously with players missing. Saints more so than Wigan, it's no excuse, they've been doing it all season. Drop off ball inside to Peter Shields. He gets the ball underway, but great defence by the Warriors. Wigan forced to get back. The nearest Saints have been to the Pie Eaters line. Edmondson bazookaed there after Martin had fed the ball inside. Saints again moving it right, Sculthorpe dabs it. Hodgson takes it well. Can he go all the way? He's a flyer. Oh, he's tackled there. It's a good job he was too.
Well, good stuff from Hodgson. Lovely pick up from round his ankles. I know you're nervous, Ron, about perhaps Wigan running away with this game, but that's just taking it too far. Newton now scampering from dummy half, keeps it alive onto Wild. He charges up. Good defensive stuff from young Stephen Wild. As the ball's pumped forward, Hall's underneath it safely, and he'll charge the ball back up Wigan line. Trying to come up, cutting off is Johnson, but Hall runs into the middle and we bring him down.
Yeah, Wigan obviously they've had the lion's share of the possession. They've not needed to do any kicking, but they'll test these wingers out with Hall on one side and Felton on the other. The young Australian making his first team debut, but Hoppy up the middle. Well, his first team debut in the starting line. What I meant, Hoppy. With Felton there with him. He gets the ball away to Sculthorpe, to Peter Shields. Shields takes the tackle. Renouf, what a tackle it was too. Stopped him in his tracks. Sculthorpe, Wellens looking for support. He flicks it up. He thought the man was there, McConnell I think it was, but he'd come inside. No, it was Wellens, and Wigan have the possession.
That's one thing Wigan have got to do, is not get excited about the lead they've gone to. Because St Helens can attack you from anywhere, as Sean Hoppy just said. Just did actually. And that's a great kick, no sweeper. Wellens is back. Carney racing for this ball. And good vision there by Wigan, pushing it back. Carney in defence. He's going to have to do it again with Wellens. But good stuff from Wigan.
Yeah, great stuff. Saw the great vision. Obviously saw the gap at the back. Felton got back and secured the ball. Only Felton and Wellens back there, and now the Saints are back on side, and Edmondson has the ball, takes it up centre field. Wigan penalised. Incorrect marking at the play of the ball. A little bit of respite for the Saints, and my word, don't we need it. 22 minutes gone, 18 points to 0 in favour of the Wigan Warriors. But Matt, let me tell you, you're playing the back-to-back Super League champions, the World Club champions, the current Challenge Cup holders, and we'll still put up a mighty effort. We're coming into the business end of the season, as the Aussies call it, into the playoffs. As Matautier drives it through, you're looking forward to a free week if Bradford get beat. As Sculthorpe drags it in, he goes for the line. 8 metres from the line. Can Saints get points on the board? McConnell within a midges of scoring, but Wigan penalised, not marking up correct at the play of the ball. The ball's thrown away, but great vision. Obviously Saints with Kieran Cunningham out, they'll miss his influence this evening, but McConnell, 4 tries in 2 games. Saints spread it left. Now the Wigan defence will regroup. Chris Joint for the line, all on. Great Wigan defence. Will Saints spread it out? Well, the ball out, touch Wigan player. It's all on. Wigan are playing it. I thought it was a knock on, but it's with Renouf.
And Renouf still going, Wellens tracking back, good defence on show there from Wellens. And the referee's bringing it back now. It seems strange that he let the advantage go on for so long. Just looking back on the big screen where he came off Newton's arm, but I don't think he played at it. I think he was going for the man himself, but that's the ruling.
Yes, I think he let it play on. Obviously, as he said, we've got a fourth official, and the referee let play go on until it was stopped, and then obviously got a call, which I thought he knocked it on. Obviously, I know, yeah, of course you would. Of course I would, Matt. Matt thought it had come off the body, but it's been brought back, and it's a chance now for Saints to build on and see if they can penetrate this Wigan defence. Wellens is feeding. Tommy Martin out wide, and well, they all feed it, don't they, Matt? Now, Wellens, Tommy Martin, he moves it out, Sculthorpe, inside ball, Hoppy. Playing well, Hoppy. Whether he's actually signed another contract, I don't know. But will the Wigan defence be breached? They're all offside, they've moved up quickly. They had to line up on the line, and Matauti gets it away to McConnell. He just loses his foot in. Matauti again, it's moved left, Martin. The ball out, Matauti. He flicks it out, it's loose. The ball's been knocked forward. Saints trying to be adventurous, moving the ball about. They know they've got to move the ball about to penetrate the Wigan defence, but Wigan doing the hassling, moving up quickly, and the ball was knocked forward. Head and feed to the Warriors, Matt.
Must be like a bar of soap out there. Plenty of handling errors crept into the game already for both sides. And now Carney, Wigan looking to get over that, through that Saints line like they did early on in the game. Been camped in their own half for quite a while. At least the last 5 minutes or so. And Wigan will be looking to penetrate through with Farrell. Quick play the ball on to Lamb, it goes. Lamb steps inside Joint, turning him inside out. But Joint knew that the rest of the St Helens defence were there to back him up. And here come Wigan again with O'Connor. Slamming through the line, gets the ball away. Harvey Howard picks up and gets the ball on again to Johns. Johns with a flick pass out to Renouf. Renouf cutting back inside again, and Iro having a devil's own job at the moment. Last tackle for Wigan. Johns with the kick through, testing Felton, bringing the ball back. Oof, and he nearly knocked that one forward then. And away comes Felton. Takes the tackle from Wild. Still ongoing, Wild picking him up. A little bit of a ballroom dance there. Away comes Saints. Sculthorpe throwing the dummy. Farrell and Wild in with a tackle.
Yeah, McDonald's come on, Matauti's gone off, and there's McDonald with his first touch. Wigan again putting the ball up and testing Leon Felton. Wild in for the tackle, and slipping the player down there. Now Martin puts boot to ball. Hodgson, well, he got it, forced it back, stopped it, and now he's got the possession. Can he get through the Saints defence? He's lost it at the first tackle. Iro picks it up. Great cover defence. Well, Wigan should be penalised for that. Holding him down at the play of the ball. He's sent into the sin bin. He's off straight away. He's walked off. No warning. Matthew Johns off for 10 minutes in the sin bin. Cowie on, is it, for Wigan, Matt? I just heard him on about Cowie. Who's he come on for? For Harvey Howard. And Johns in the sin bin for 10 minutes. No prior warning. Professional foul. Oh, Saints have lost the ball. Wigan have the possession. Oh, just not getting it right tonight, Matt. You'll be pleased.
Over the moon. Well, it's very wet conditions. The rain is still teeming down, and Saints are trying to flick the ball, keep it alive. Panic football they're playing, and it's still only 27 minutes into the game. There's plenty of time left. Shouldn't be throwing the ball around so desperately at this stage. And Wigan now with Cowie, the old head, driving up the middle, sensible stuff. And that's a good drive, takes 3 men to bring him down, and joint line all over. But not to the extent that Johns was, and back on the inside comes Connolly. Connolly on the inside is Newton. He's got Farrell in support. He doesn't need him. Newton's over the line for a try. Super stuff from Wigan again. This time it came Connolly back on the inside. Connolly who straight up the middle. He had support in Newton on the right hand side. As always, Newton supporting beautifully. I was looking for Chris Rodlinski to come up on the inside screaming for him, but obviously he's not playing. Farrell wanted it on that left hand side of Newton, but Newton threw a glorious dummy, and there's nothing that the St Helens players could do to stop him. But what a break, what a pass. Ron setting up a bit of zone defence. But Wigan and Farrell in front of the post for the conversion, 22 points to 0. They survived that little onslaught from St Helens. They knocked on and straight up the pitch. Lovely interchange in play between Lamb and Connolly, reading completely off the same page. And Farrell now will look to add the extras. He was screaming for the ball, and support was Farrell. And all the Wigan fans and followers up in the air, standing, arms in the air, screaming for Wigan. 24 points to 0. And we couldn't ask for a better first half than this from the Wigan boys. So Farrell added the extras, 24 points to 0. You're listening with Mike on video, and the ball has gone out on the full from the kick-off. It doesn't rain, but it pours. It certainly is here at the JJB, pouring down with rain. And St Helens coming up with no mistakes. Got to calm things down. 24 points to 0. It's not out of their grasp, we know that. And Wigan, not only did they score a try run, but they're also down to 12 men. What do you think of that?
Yes, that's right, down to 12 men, professional foul. He went before he was dispatched. John Kirkpatrick's just come on for Steve Hall, half an hour gone. Wigan 24 points to 0 up and well in command. They still need a mammoth score to try and get a points difference if it comes to equal points. With Bradford rattling 84 up against the wire last week, it's going to be a mammoth task, but Cowie has it, and we're going to press in.
And I remember reading in the press today, Ian Millward has said as Ferner goes through, Ferner trying to step round Wellens, but good defence on show. Ian Millward saying that he'd probably have a smile on his face tonight despite whatever happened, as Carney's looking for that one. Carney's in for a try. Lovely stuff. Kick from Lamb. Carney on the charge. Left higher than the winger Felton. Felton in no man's land, really. Can't be blamed for that one. The defence had all been drawn in, and Carney gets his second of the game. Superb stuff by Lamb. He really is in control. And that's 2 tries in as many minutes, I think, for Wigan. Starting to run away with this game, and nothing St Helens can do. Wigan have starved them of possession at the moment. And beautiful little touches like that from Lamb, and Carney up in the air, took it cleanly, put the ball down.
But 28-0.
It's unfortunate for Mark Edmondson. He's not had the best of starts for Saints in this game. I think as he put the ball down a few times in possession as Lamb, that's the ball hits his knees, and he hands on to Cowie. Thank you very much, says Cowie, as 3 or 4 St Helens defenders knock him to ground. But Yonkers, he's on the pitch now for Saints. He's really is a quality find for St Helens. Really has come of age this season. And Wigan, Wild throws the ball. Away it comes St Helens with Hoppy, but knock on there, no advantage really for St Helens, so it'll be a scrum down, and we'll be looking to get some points on the board with only 6 minutes left.
Yes, obviously a try in down at the Wigan end of the field again, but the great tackling by the Warriors, and Saints not respecting the ball. There's the player just losing his footing. Wellens, Sculthorpe, good drive from Sculthorpe, just taken down, 12 metres short, looking to post points. Wellens from acting half. Great tackling, you can see the players sliding there. Sculthorpe juggles with it. All part of the master plan, I assure you, Matt. Shields, then the ball to McConnell. Loose play. Saints very disorganised, and Wigan quickly in on that loose ball.
I was saying the Wigan players were reading off the same page. I don't think St Helens have got the right book, to be honest. And now Wigan, they really have got this Saints side rattled, but there is the knowledge that when they come out in the second half, they can't play as badly with so many mistakes as they have in the first. As Farrell looks to break the line, bit of Greco-Roman wrestling going on with Ferner. Now Connolly, he's been involved in everything for Wigan so far. It's been good. Fifth tackle now. They'll just be looking to pin the ball back in the Saints half. There's a kick from Farrell. No real pressure put on him, and he's peppering Felton's wing. And Felton comes back on the inside, running at Cowie's probably the sensible option. But then was Newton to help out.
Yeah, no real pressure, as you say, and there shouldn't be any real pressure at 28-0, and another 6 tackles. Stripped the ball, as you said, Matt, you called it well, 1-1. Sculthorpe inside to Peter Shields. Shields puts it back, McConnell tidies it up. Steve Wilde in with the tackle. Kirkpatrick gone in field. And Saints just not able to get much forward momentum. MacDonald. Saints on the short side, Chris Joint. Sean Hoppy has to take the tackle. It's gone well tonight, hasn't it, for the Wiganers? The well-oiled machine. And Sculthorpe straightens it up. Support on the inside. Wellens draws it in. McConnell slips the ball, Martin inside, couldn't take it. Saints play on and still can't hold the ball. Well, that was a forward pass. Saints throwing it out. Player down though, yeah, Chris Joint looks as though he's been clattered. So John's back on the field, 37 minutes gone, that's right, he went off in the 27th. And Chris Joint receiving treatment, but Saints trying to throw it about, Matt, but it still just didn't come off.
Well, it would have been a spectacular pass had that one from Martin come off, and with the Test series coming up against Australia soon, you'd hope that perhaps David Waite will give Tommy Martin a recognised standoff a go. I mean, there's been talk that he might choke at that sort of level. He's not really competed, and you've at least got to give him a chance. He's playing that well. And there's always Sculthorpe to play it, but he's a forward, he's not a...
Well, they played paddle, haven't they, Great Britain at standoff. You know, and a loose forward. We've got quite a good few loose forwards, you know, Simfield, Farrell, Sculthorpe, so it's anybody's guess.
Away comes Johns, he's back on the field now. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and it's been all Wigan, 28 points to 0. They've been watching it all with Micron video. Wigan once again, Renouf picking up from dummy half, look for the pass, but there's a few backs turned to him, and Lamb. And the penalty's given, Martin down on all fours. Do you think Connolly was suggesting that Farrell there to have a pop at the sticks? Martin having a bit of sweat wiped off his forehead. Farrell takes a quick one, gets the ball out wide now, and again on it goes to Johnson. He's trying to step round the Saints defence, but that's good stuff there from Hoppy. Put him back on the inside, Joint lying all over again. Used to seeing that though. Now then Johns with a little stab over the top, but who's come down with it? Tommy Martin. And now Iro. Renouf's going to have to go low. He's taking him. Beautiful tackle from Renouf then. But a quick play of the ball from Saints.
Yeah, took it well, and Saints under pressure. Kirkpatrick, another one of the youngsters that's come in and filled in well. And he looks quite sharp. Scored a try at Warrington and denied another for a forward pass at the death, which would have given the Saints the 2 valuable points. Wellens, Sculthorpe, Tim Yonkers. Saints again with Sculthorpe. Wigan penalised, not marking up at the play of the ball correctly. Terry O'Connor definitely said something then, and the referee's calling him over. Well, he's bringing Andy Farrell over. But I thought it was O'Connor that spoke there, and the referee remonstrated with him. He's just telling the captain if it's not done again, there'll be further sin binnings, I think. Time running out. 40, well, there's 8 seconds left on the official clock. It's just gone 40 minutes on mine. Last chance for the Saints to score. MacDonald, will we get a play of the ball? Well, he wasn't on his feet. Wigan lying on once again. Wigan remonstrating. Saints have got to take it quickly. 2 points no good. Not when you're trailing by 28. Hoppy going for the line. Great tackling. That might end the first half. All right. Yes, 6 seconds left on the sky clock. It's dabbed forward. Well, that was well picked up. The referee's gone to the screen. Has he given the try? Who was it that came through, Matt? Paul Sculthorpe, I think. After a Tommy Martin kick. Hoppy did well, then it was turned back inside. The ball dabbed through, it's right at the death. Just exchanging pleasantries there with Terry O'Connor and Scully. They'll go to pop the, just waiting for the official confirmation. There's the try, right at the death. You now say it, score right at the death, Matt. Seconds remaining. Must have been all on the half-time hooter, that mustn't have been. 5 or 6 seconds left. Martin dabbed it through. Sculthorpe chased it. And actually, for the first time really, under pressure, Saints held the ball. A great pick-up by Sculthorpe and a great touchdown as well. And here he is looking for his 74th goal of the season, which he shouldn't have any bother. Just about our distance, that, Matt. And this will wrap the first half up. We say it's just getting points on the board. A great boost to the Saints, especially after such a poor first half by their standards. Tries from Renouf, Carney and Ferner in the first 15 minutes, all goal by Farrell. Then Newton won in the 28th minute, and Carney 3 minutes later, when Wigan were down to 12 men with Johns in the sin bin. The first one was goal, the second one wasn't. Half-time score at the JJB, 28 points to 6.
Well, the players are out for the second half then. Young Mark Smith's on the field for Wigan. The Saints players are lining up. Terry Newton's still on the field as well. So Newton will be back in the second row, I should have thought. And Smith will move to hooker. He's giving Dave Ferner a rest. Wigan starting then Cowie with the first drive up. Oh, it's actually Adrian Lamb that's come off and Mark Smith's on. So I'm sure that Johns will fill in at scrum half, I should have thought. Farrell moved to stand-off perhaps, and Mark Smith at hooker with Newton in the second row. A big change around for the Wigan pack then. Although Newton is at the dummy half position, Johns first receiver, and there's a kick from Johns, a banana kick just over the top. The ball goes on to Wellens. Wellens trying to skate through the first 2 challenges and does successfully. And in comes the third shot and a big tackle there. Paul Johnson getting involved, getting his head down, stuck in. And Saints on the attack.
Yeah, and taking it on the short side. Matt was waxing lyrical there, and why not indeed? In full flight, Mickey Hyam on for Dave McConnell. Cruikshank puts it out. It's touched a Wigan player. It's all on. Saints are spreading it. Can they move it quickly? Iro, the beast, giving the ball or offering the ball inside. Wigan are taking him towards the touchline. It's waved off the tackle count. Saints with a set of 6. Well, Sculthorpe's put it crossfield. Whether he didn't know the tackle count was waved off or not, I don't know. But the ball's loose. Saints have it. Hoppy in for the try. The referee will go to the screen, Matt. We've just got to wait for the decision, but that's a good start if it counts. Well, yes, I was just saying, Sculthorpe probably didn't know the tackle count had been waved down. It did, well, the ball's loose there. Did it come off the Wigan player? He lost it as he went down in the tackle. Oh, that's a flop. We're looking at the big screen, and there was a flop there. But whether the referee has asked, well, it's going to be an infringement, isn't it? It all depends what he's asked for. Yeah, Matt seems to think there was some obstruction. It's Hoppy that went over for the try. He's in the picture on the big screen. Here comes the decision. No try. And a scrum with a head and feed to the Warriors.
Well, in the end, hopefully Carney will come up 100% all right from that one. He seemed to take a nasty knock as the challenge came in, but Wigan caught off guard, perhaps. Johns then on to Connolly. Connolly spinning, ducking into the challenge. Now Wigan again with Thurner. Thurner who made that amazing break in the first half. Also has got a try in the first. There the ball, O'Connor to Cowie. Cowie thought about throwing the dummy. Joints in with a challenge, helped out by Hoppy, who's twisting the ankle. The ball comes out the side and, well, Newton didn't read the play. And the referee is given head and feet to Wigan. Coming off the arm of, coming off the hand of Hoppy in the challenge. As I say, it was a particularly bad pass. I can't imagine someone had actually attempted that one. For Wigan, and now Connolly! Connolly's found a gap! He's running across, but good stretching across there. Was it Yonkers? Great stuff from Yonkers, and Renouf now hands on to Farrell, who wants to straighten the attack up. Runs into McDonald, but spins off, keeps the ball alive. Thurner with a dummy. And Wigan quick play the ball. Farrell on it goes to O'Connor. He takes a shot round the jaw, but nothing intent. Now Johns, scrum off, ball onto Connolly, good pair of hands, Connolly. Johnson with the bend. Johnson gets the ball away to Carney. He's tackled without the ball though, but the ball had already come loose, and now Wellens attempting to regain some play.
Yeah, the idea was right, Matt. It'd have been a lovely pass if it had stuck. He did knock it forward before he was taken. He didn't have full control. And now Wigan penalised for going over the top. Farrell's pleading innocence. They all do, don't they? You wouldn't think butter would melt in the mouths, would you? On the halfway line, Saints with the possession. Hoppy restarts. MacDonald the first man in. The ball's loose, but Saints come up with it. Reaped out, says referee Cummins. The ball did come loose, but I would have said it had gone back, Matt. But that's a good kick. The Saints take it quickly. Tommy Martin. It puts Saints within 10 metres of the Wigan line. The Pie Eaters under pressure. Cruikshank looking for his first try of the season with the Saints. The Saints spectators rallying the troops. Mickey Hyam taking the ball across, looking for the runners. It's Tommy Martin. Can Saints stretch the Wigan defence? Sculthorpe offers the ball. He takes the tackle. Super tackling by the Warriors. Reverse angle. Wigan come up with possession. Saints were well harried then.
But it's much better to see the Wigan defence in this sort of form. And now Saints being marched back 10. Connolly takes it quickly and then slips into the tackle. McDonald all over him. Good idea by Connolly, trying to take the ball up to the face of the Saints defence. Farrell running across. Needs to straighten his attack up. And Lamb's back on, a bit of a blood bin, and Cowie's dropped the ball now, and Saints continue with it. In comes Iro.
Yes, Saints have it, they're running it, they're putting the pressure on. Tommy Martin, inside to Chris Joint. Joint out of the tackle, Joint steaming up the middle, gives it to Wellens. Good tackle by Wigan. The Warriors put the power play in the tackling stakes on. Martin. The ball's loose. Hoppy comes up with it. No, he loses it. Wigan come up with it.
Well, it's exciting stuff, this, and Hoppy tackling Carney. He's all over him. That's got to be a penalty that time. But the referee not giving it, and the ball being flicked out the side, and not the best pass run off. Sensibly, Wilds come off, and on goes Betts. Wilds had a superb game for Wigan. Great introduction into this Wigan first team. Now comes Terry O'Connor. Good tackle in there by Saints. Wigan struggling to get out their own 30-metre area. Now on the fifth tackle. No pressure on Lamb as he puts boot to ball. And underneath it, St Helens come back.
Again, Saints have the ball. Lamb coming back on. Obviously, he was substituted at half-time. But there you go. Was it is that a blood bin, Smith? Maybe it's a blood bin, but obviously it was at the half-time interval. So we'll count that as a blood bin substitution. But Saints have the ball. Martin to Joint. The skipper again. It's back to Martin. No scoring in this second half. We've played 8 minutes. McDonald loses the footing. Last one of the sequence. What will the Saints do? Mickey Hyam at dummy half. He moves it to the right. Sculthorpe puts it high. The ball knocked forward, and it's a turnover. It looks as though it come off Chris Joint's hand to me, Matt, and that's what the referee's given, a turnover.
Well, Wigan certainly need to get out their own half at least in this set of six. It's all been St Helens so far. So did they come out a different side in this second half, and they certainly have done that. And Wigan wanting to keep this great lead that they got off to in the first half. And hopefully it'll may tell in the second half, all this defence that St Helens had to do early on in the game. And now Lamb back on the inside comes Ferner, another devastating run by him. Newton scampering from dummy half onto Lamb, back inside comes Farrell running across the face, but good defence on show. Farrell needs to be running straight up, and there's a kick from Johns. He's tackled after the kick. The ball's bounced kindly for Wellens, and Wigan will want to keep them up in their St Helens half.
Yeah, Wellens straightens up, has to take the tackle. Pressure put on there by the Saints. Now it's Felton, the young lad on trial, looking for a contract. Only a few games left to try and secure one, as Chris Joint drives it upfield. Certainly a different Saints, as you say, Matt, in this second half, but we couldn't be any worse than we was in the first half. Mickey Hyam driving, can he outpace Connolly? Great tackle by Gary Connolly. Felton looking to dive in from short range, great tackling. I think he took the wrong option there. Connolly in. Who's that else in as well? Renouf, Carney, Connolly and Carney. But great tackle, Connolly. They probably say he's in the veteran stage now. He's about 30, something like that. But he's been in top flight for 13 years, and he's still a great player. He's Gary Connolly, a product of St Helens, may I add. But great tackling there, and Felton just took the wrong option, I think, and we're going to have the possession.
A bit of fisticuffs in there in the scrum down. Newton involved in that one, but great defence. Connolly's had a wow of a game so far. Good run by Johnson. Connolly's been involved in everything, attacking and defence. By far one of the best defending players in the league. Great fend by Farrell. Farrell's got Betts in support. He was being hampered there by Hoppy, and Joints lying all over again. And then finally the penalty comes and away goes Farrell. And they're certainly not back to 10 metres, but the referee's not giving it. And Newton now, it's a measly 10 given again by the referee. But Wigan, that's the kind of opportunity they need to take. Johns now, a floated ball out to Renoff. Renoff cuts back inside but slips, still wet out there. Away now, Johns on to Cowie. Cowie will trundle the ball up the forward. Quick play of the ball. The referee's having a word with Chris Joint now. And I'm sure Farrell will calm things down and go for the 2 points. That way they'll see the possession back, assured of it, but a good decision from Farrell. The Wigan and Chris Joint, I've seen him every game, he treads a thin line. I think it's fair to say, Ron, in the end, the difference I think between the Australian Rugby League and the Rugby League we're playing over here is that at the play of the ball in Australia it's so much faster, and here we tend to lie on a lot more. But that's, I think, the big difference between the two nations.
Yeah, we do tend to ponce about a bit at the play of the ball instead of getting on. Substitution, Harvey Howard coming back on, and Terry O'Connor.
That's right, he was holding his nose then. I thought for a second he'd a recurrence of that nose injury, the broken nose he received between these two sides. But as it goes, Farrell added another 2 points. That makes it 30 points to 6. Wigan will retain possession. Just slows things down nicely, perhaps, for Wigan. The game is at a tremendous pace at the moment. Those are the first points in the second half. It's taken 12 minutes. And Wigan come up with those points and need to be getting back on the scoreboard. Keeping in possession, starving St Helens, that's what you need to do. Starve the St Helens side of the ball. We've seen, even with an understrength side, what a danger they are. And now Lamb firing out wide, and away comes Ferner again. He's got Renoff in support. On it goes to Hodgson. He's going to have to check back, and he's got Renoff. But Renoff cleverly trudging back on the inside, throws the dummy, but good stuff from Wigan. And that man Ferner again involved. But clever interchange of play. Farrell now straightening the attack up, but there's no way through Shields. Harvey calling for the ball. He's spotted a gap, but runs straight at the Saints defender, but a good challenge, nice and low. Now then, Farrell onto Johns. Johns with a high bomb up in the air. Wellens would be favourite to take this one, takes it cleanly. Now Wigan have got to concentrate on keeping them up, no silly penalties.
Yeah, took it well, did Wellens under pressure, and a great gang tackling by Wigan, tried to force him in the in-goal area, but they couldn't. And Wigan moving up quickly. The referee will take them back. Well, all offside in front of the referee on the right. But it's a great fast game, isn't it, Matt? This second half, 15 minutes gone. Only 2 points added. Hoppy, well, he knocked it back for me, that one. It did come forward, and then it looks as though he knocked it back, but he's given a knock on.
He's come down head and feet to the Warriors in the Saints 30-metre area, and then trying to keep the ball alive again. The referee's calling over two players, Newton and Cruikshank. Had a little bit of extras down in the Wigan half earlier on. And it's obviously continued into the scrum. Up this end. So now Wigan looking to get extra points on the board. And once again, the referee asking them to form the scrum again. And Ferner. He's got super pace from a standing start as Ferner, and that week off has obviously done him some good. And there's the ball to Betts! Betts has got the legs for the line! And Betts is going to be over! A lovely try, masterminded by Johns. Super stuff, created a massive hole. And through went Dennis Betts. And he's still got plenty of pace. The old stage of Dennis Betts. Fantastic try from Wigan, it's what they needed. Just to get themselves that momentum going forward again. And the ball came, Johns drew the two defenders. But it's simple stuff, but it works every time. And Dennis Betts-Wellens knew that he wasn't going to stop Dennis from that sort of distance to the line. And relishing the game time he's getting, Dennis Betts coming off the bench as Mark Smith looks to be warming up again. But Wigan 34 points to 6 as Farrell lines up his kick. And the rain's still absolutely pouring down. And the Saints fans still getting behind their side. They know that the Saints side won't give up till the final whistle. But Wigan are in electric form at the moment. But still this game being played at a superb pace. And Farrell, the kick is good. He's got another one. 30. Newton's coming off now. And Smith's gone on. 36 points to 6, Wigan over the St Helens side. And it's a perfect way for Wigan to get themselves ready for these up-and-coming playoffs. We know that if Bradford falter, Wigan will finish as minor premiers and have that week off. But here comes Cowie. Strong drive up. Good stuff from Cowie, looking to make a quick play at the ball on Wigan. Electric. Young Mark Smith picking it up from dummy half. Trying to get up to play the ball quickly. Good spin from Harvey, but the defence was good. And I think a sensible option by Stuart Raper, bringing Newton off. Things were getting a bit heated in that pack. And perhaps Newton tends to get a bit fiery. Very aggressive player. And has decided to bring him off. And Lamb scooting through. Farrell was tackled, was he, before he had the ball, but the referee's given the knock on. Close call. I thought he tackled him before he had the ball then, Ron.
Well, it was half and half there. We're just trying to have a look on the big screen. But he's given the knock on. Wasn't in full control. Andy Farrell's not happy. 18 minutes gone of the second half. 36 points to 6 in favour of the Warriors. Matautia back on, and it looks like Cruikshank going off. Yes, Cruikshank off, Matautia on. Saints head and feed at the scrum. Wellens at dummy half, Chris Joint. Saints playing for pride now, a 30-point deficit. MacDonald up the short side, but some great tackling by the Warriors. It's been great all evening. Saints have obviously helped with the downfall in the first half. As Sculthorpe puts it out, Matautia couldn't drag it in. The Warriors snap up the loose ball. There again, obviously just not going to plan.
That's why they're trying to keep the ball alive in the usual fashion. But with the weather being so wet, and away comes Smith, but Wellens is never going to be beaten in them one-on-one situations like that, but he's lying all over. Johns now onto Johnson. Johnson does well to keep hold of the ball and shrug off the tackle of Hoppy. Away comes Carney, taking a bit of pressure off the forwards. Nice drive up the centre. Still going is Carney. Great drive by him. Looking for the quick play of the ball. Smith, out it goes to Lamb. Lamb with a flat pass onto Connolly. Connolly keeps it alive onto Renoff. Renoff straightening the attack up. It's as good a game as I've seen Renoff play all season, this. Now Farrell on the 5th. There's the little kick through, inviting Smith to chase it. And Felton comes up with it. And he's done well to go. Oh, what a clash there! Superb challenge. Adrian Lamb, and a bit of a punch being thrown by Felton. He didn't like that. What a challenge. Adrian Lamb, perhaps the smallest player on the pitch, has sent him crashing to the ground in a full head of steam. And it was just one shoulder charge, sent him rattling to the ground on a quick take of the ball, but superb stuff by Lamb. Really has been one of the best buys of the season as young Adrian Lamb. What a hit, shoulder charge into him. Felton went back. And there's the dropout. This time Lamb hands it on to Cowie. Cowie charging up towards Joint, sends him back. Good drive by Cowie, this is good stuff. And now Lamb sending the ball out wide to Ferner, he straightens it up, passes on to Farrell. Farrell drops the ball, referee says play on. They swing it out there in the tackle. The Saints finally have a bit of possession.
Yes, a bit of possession, and don't we need it, Matt? Trailing by 30. We've played 21 minutes, 22 minutes now of the second half, so 18 left. Martin with the kick upfield, looking for a 40-20, but it's curled in, and it's a good chance of running dead, and it has. So Wigan will restart from the centre of the 20.
Well, he's usually so accurate with his kicking, isn't he, Tommy Martin? He's got I think perhaps one of the biggest kicks in the Super League. There's not many that can kick a ball further than Tommy Martin, but that time he just missed the angle. And now the Wigan forwards queuing up, arguing with each other as to who's going to take the next drive. Farrell now straightening up, playing like his position should be, a loose forward. And now Lamb has scooted away from dummy half. Lamb's away. It's got Renoff chasing. It's Renoff versus Iro. Who's got the legs? Iro came up with it. The ball's gone back, and a mess up in the end made. But Renoff really been tested that time. Perhaps Lamb would have been better served to keep hold of the ball, but he kicked forward, inviting Renoff to chase it. And Renoff and Iro just both trying to have that little bit more extra pace to get to the ball first. Iro was there to it, but then the ball came off Wellens. It's gone dead, so it'll be another dropout. And the referee has given a penalty to Wigan for holding back, I think. Interesting to see here on the side. Hodgson, well, someone's got a handful of his shirt. I think it was Felton had a handful of Hodgson's shirt. And that's what the penalty's been given for. So Farrell, will he go for the posts, or are we going to take a tap penalty? 36 points to 6 then here at the JJB. Wigan against Saints. Last game for these two of the regular season. And Wigan been dominating this game. And it all bodes well as Farrell hands the ball on then. Ferner looking for his second. Really has played very well in this game, Dave Ferner. Renoff now looking to scoot over himself. Is he over? So close. Wellens holds him up, and the ball's come loose, is it? Well, he's knocked on as Renoff. And Saints get away with it. Good challenge there by Shields on the goal line. Was there a hand in, perhaps? I'm not sure, but in the end, Saints head and feet at the scrum.
Yeah, Saints defence holding up well there, Matt. The ball spread along, well taken by Sean Hoppy. Up to the 20, still deep in their own half though. Wellens now running crossfield, looking to attract some runners, but the Wigan defence quickly in. Matauti used as the dummy runner. Hyam trying to streak away. Sculthorpe, MacDonald, the ball knocked back. Was it knocked out? Did it constitute a knock-on? Obviously not. Must have squirted out.
Well, Martin line on in the challenge. That was what Johns was simbing for. And Dennis Betts, he's trying to break free, but the ball just fell in perhaps a little bit too hard to MacDonald. It popped off his chest, and Wigan came up with it. And here's Ferner again. Thought about offloading, but brings it back in front of the posts. And it goes to Johns. Johnson's off. He's replaced by Aspinwall, another youngster on. Johnson's had a great game. A Renoff looking for his second, perhaps. Cowie driving towards the line. He's very, very close. Still going, Cowie. Great strength from the man. And Renoff at dummy half looking for a play the ball. Johns will be first receiver. There's the dab through, but it's gone straight to Shields. Is it McDonald, sorry? Well, the pass going awry, and Saints come up with it again.
Yeah, the little dab through. McDonald came up with it. Hoppy passing it on to the right. But Saints at the wrong end of the field, trailing by 30. And 14 minutes remain of the game. The last round of the normal season in Super League 6. But Tauchi couldn't take it, it was dipping. Aspinwall comes up with it, and he's a flying machine, Matt, isn't he? You don't give him a chance in clear air.
That's right, Aspinwall certainly is one of the products of the Wigan Academy that's come through and will be a star of the future. You can count on that. Now Wigan coming away, Harvey Howard this time with a drive forward. Runs into the brick wall that is Shields. And Connolly, the ball's been kept alive, and Connolly running through. Bit wrapped up there. McDonald, big frame of him. The line all over him there. Well, Connolly was in no rush to get up anyway, so Johns now, the floated pass out to Farrell. He takes it well. And away comes Lamb, scooting from dummy half. Lamb looking for support. Good tackle though from Wellens. Watched him all the way. Fifth tackle now for Wigan. Johns, the little stab through. And Arrow puts the ball out, but this is great pressure from Wigan. It's always nice to be on the attacking side of this sort of possession and position on the field. Joint's been brought off then. Edmondson on. Another drop out. Third one for St Helens. Martin looked to get some distance on this. And he's headed towards the touchline. Hodgson, he's not really had that much involvement in the game. Hodgson not really come looking for the ball like he normally does. And with Brett Dallas being off with an injured ankle, I think it is. And Renoff, he'll have to come back in field. He does that so well. And Hodgson. It's one thing Wigan have been aware of the touchlines, the dimensions of the pitch. Where St Helens have been caught off a few times, and Johns is looking to go through. He keeps the ball alive to Ferner. Great little offload. And then once again to Aspinwall, and he's trying to step his way through. Good stuff from Wigan. Farrell now flicks it out to Lamb. Lamb with the long ball to Renoff. Renoff's got a man out wide. Hodgson's going to be in for a try. He uses the wet weather to the full advantage. Slides into that left-hand side, and Wigan have got 40 points up on the Saints. Superb utilising of the space there. Hodgson staying out wide on his wing. The ball got to Renoff. Lovely floated pass there from Lamb. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Renoff drew the man. And Hodgson, like I said, using the wet pitch, slides in from about a metre or two away. And Wigan continue the onslaught, and that, like I say, that's 40 points up for the Warriors. 40 points to 6 the score. So it's 40 points to 6 now. Wouldn't it be lovely to get the half century up against the St Helens side? There's the kick-off then. Renoff's underneath it. He'll take the first drive up. Puts his head down. The ball's come flicked out. McDonald's first onto it, and Saints coming away with a ball.
The Saints pressing. Oh, the ball's put down. Tommy Martin just couldn't take it. O'Connor coming back on. Yeah, O'Connor coming back on now, and Howard off. That's Howard that's coming off there, Matt. Yeah, blood-blind reversal. But we're going to have the head and feet at the scrum. They're in their own 10-metre area, but I'm sure they'll make quick yardage.
Aspinwall, that was under the challenge. Looking to make a quick play of the ball, but Saints denying him that. And now Furner again. Certainly been my man of the match this day, Furner. He's been everywhere. It's a close call between him and Connolly. Both have had outstanding games. It's such a quick-fire pace, though, this game. The referee's let it flow very well as Farrell's made a break outside. He was looking for support. But a good tackle in the end by Edmondson, bringing him to ground. Smith, out it goes to Johns. Johns floats it to Lamb. And Lamb with a little dummy, back on the inside. Furner's dropped the ball, and Renouf just boots it as far as he can. Just to make sure that Saints don't come up with a possession, but Wigan trying the various different moves, bringing Furner back on the burst, but he's played a super game as Furner.
Oh, it's tremendous. Man of the match for me. I mean, well, yeah, Connolly, as you say, he's had a good game. Kirkpatrick coming back on now for the Saints. There's been exchanges fast and furious. Iro, the man that's come off. Saints have the possession. From dummy half, Sean Hoppy approaching the halfway line. It's all been one-way traffic, hasn't it? 40 points to 6. Mickey Hyam looking to unload. Big hit there by the Warriors. The ball lost in the tackle. Cruikshank remonstrating, but what big hits, big tackles have been put in tonight by the Warriors. Saints just not been able to do much with the ball. Came to at the end of the first half in the dying seconds, but unfortunately not being able to get things in this second half. And Wigan have certainly put it to him. Hit, broken play, Wigan pressing again, Matt.
That's right, Wigan now with O'Connor up the centre. Tonight's attendance here at the JJB, 15,235. Fantastic crowd, as always, pulls a big crowd in the game between these two teams. And now Cowie in danger of running at the back of his own player. And all across the park, Wigan players have played fantastically. And Connolly was nearly taken off. He's injured himself that time. I hope it's nothing serious. As Lamb tries to penetrate the line and Connolly's on all haunches. Well, it was a bit of a cheap shot by the Saints player, coming out the line, just digging him in the ribs, and I hope it's nothing serious. There's the turnover. It was on the 5th tackle, and on comes the line's touch judge. Hopefully he's going to have seen what happened to Connolly. Connolly's back on his feet again. You see it on the big screen there as Connolly came through. Just to see the possession's gone Wigan's way. He's watching Connolly being taken out on the big screen, and Heath Cruikshank it was. Just a late challenge on him. Off the ball incident. But the touch judge has called the player over to him. Probably put the whole thing on report. He's got Cruikshank over. Well, the frustration creeping into the St Helens side, but Connolly's a tough fella. And he's come back after his injury that he had with the shoulder. He's come back in tremendous form, and Wigan taking the quick one. And it goes then to Furner, but good challenge on him. Into the last 5 minutes of the game now. Foul on to O'Connor. O'Connor driving through, and Wigan want to come away with some points in the last 5. Away comes Smith, Farrell, long pass out to Renouf. Renouf's in! Renault's there for the try! Super stuff from Renault, but the referees called it back. Well, I was off then on one, but the referee, Stuart Cummins, has pulled the play back. Interesting to see what he's given. He's given a knock-on, I think, perhaps at the play of the ball, was it? Well, it beats me.
Wigan had it, Saints had it, then Wigan had it, and this microphone's been read up, has it, between myself and Matt tonight, and Matt's had the lion's share. Saints just haven't been able to do anything. It's been all Wigan's night. Scrum down, head and feed to the Warriors, Matt.
That's right, this time perhaps we can get over the line for a try. And it'll be given. Lamb looking to go himself, but Tommy Martin's closed that gap. Farrell corner for the ball at first receiver. He's got throws a dummy and goes himself. The Saints defence was up quickly. Now Smith onto Cowie. Cowie looking to get over. With good defence there from Saints. The ball's come free. And St Helens have come up with it, but a penalty's been given. And some afters there. Connolly this time. Cowie involved. And Heath Cruikshank again. Well, that's one name that Connolly's going to remember, that's for sure, from this night. And that's Cruikshank, and the referee's having a word with him. Tell him to calm things down. The game has been played in great spirits. Till that little altercation there. In a high-paced game between two of the top 5 sides in the league, and away come Wigan again. 2.5 minutes remaining. O'Connor looking to drive towards the posts. Smith at dummy half. On it goes to Farrell. Farrell's got Connolly back on the inside, but Farrell's got himself in. He slid in from about 10 metres out then. Quick play the ball onto Lamb. Lamb's looking for the runnies. He's dabbed the ball through Betts, but a great pick up there. And Saints on their own goal line.
Yeah, I think it was Felton again that came up with that. And now Saints trying to clear the line. Great tackling. Was the tackle completed? The referee says it was before the man was dragged over the line. Saints play it quickly. Can they finish off with a flourish as they did in the first half? But still, as the rain teams down, a 34-point cushion, and still the big hits come in from the Warriors. 90 seconds left of the game. Mickey Hyam offers it, gives it to Matautia. He looks to spread it out. Certainly looked to hint forward that as MacDonald came up with it, but the referees let it go. Quick play the ball, Mickey Hyam again, gets it away. Mark Edmondson. The ball thrown anywhere. Renouf knocks it on.
Renault chasing now there with Wellens, but Wellens does so well to pick it up.
Yes, and he did well there. Renouf hacked it on, Wellens did well to recover. Saints in possession, 40 points to 6 to score. Matautia unloads it to the right. The ball in field, it's been knocked forward. Probably the last scrum of the match, Matt, half a minute left.
That's right, Wigan will just probably want to see this out with the way in which this game's been played, as Lamb's led to the touchline. That doesn't look good for the Warriors. Holding onto his leg, looks like perhaps a hamstring strain. But Wigan will be wanting to make sure, perhaps hopefully precautionary, bring him off. Maybe just a bit of cramp perhaps, but Wigan. Farrell at scrum half, on to Johns. Johns kicks it through. It's going to be Wigan. You can tell that from the first 15 minutes. St Helens dropped the ball on too many occasions, too many silly errors. But it's a game that was played in great spirits. Plenty of talent on the pitch. But at the end of the day, perhaps the wet conditions not suiting St Helens' style of play. Both teams under strength, but Wigan on that kind of form will take some beating, won't they, Rob?
But they certainly will. A great performance. Both sides have lost some silly games, but obviously Wigan, they was really red hot tonight. They was up for it. They knew they had to win it. Obviously, it didn't really matter for Saints. but no team will come here and lie down. Saints didn't, but they didn't respect the ball. They couldn't do anything right. They lost their way last week against Leeds, and it seemed to carry on this week. Wigan were red hot. They certainly gave it to the Saints. They're the top of the league for at least 24 hours. They're looking forward to the match tomorrow, hoping that Leeds can beat Bradford, who, you know, they'll take some whacking, but it can happen, and that'll give Wigan a week off. All to be decided tomorrow, but a great win here at the JGB by Wigan, and you never know, Matt, our paths could cross in the playoff.